Former NBA player and current basketball analyst Charles Barkley has reiterated his position that he does not agree with the vast majority of basketball fans and so-called experts who feel that the Golden State Warriors are overwhelmingly a lot to win the NBA championship this upcoming season. He feels that he has pretty much the philosophy that jump shooting teams just generally don't win championships. And this is what he told Howard Beck, I guess, on Twitter. Howard Beck on Twitter said, Barkley isn't sold on Golden State Warriors, even with KD, quote, I just don't think you can win a championship shooting jumpers. Says injuries helped them in 2015. And it goes on to say that Barkley argued earlier this summer, as he did again this week, that the Warriors were, quote, lucky because they faced injury-riddled teams throughout their championship run. Barkley went on to say that this past year, when they won 73 games, that he was proven correct about his stance on the team, saying, quote, it's exactly what I said was going to happen. If they played a couple of good teams, they were going to wear down. Barkley said earlier this season, they weren't going to make all those jump shots. They got a great organization. I love Steph and Clay, but I don't think small ball works, and it didn't work in the finals. Y'all guys know how I feel about the Warriors, man. Like, let me say this too. I know that in the past, some people have said that, Barkley is a hypocrite for criticizing Kevin Durant for going to the Warriors because he went to the Rockets. KD was, joining the team, an organization that was that his former team had down 3-1, and then he joined that team when they came back to win. And Barkley did the same thing. Phoenix, in the playoffs, had Houston down 3-1, and then they lost that lead, and Houston went on to win the title or whatever. And Barkley joined the team, but there's very key differences though. Number one, Kevin Durant played a 73-9 Golden State Warriors team, a historic team, a team that broke the record as far as season wins of a team many consider the greatest team of all time, the 72-10 Chicago Bulls. All right, people gotta remember that. Golden State Warrior fans remember that they were the ones saying that we're going to break the record of the Bulls. We're going to go down as the greatest team of all time. Many pundits were saying this was going to be the greatest team of all time. All right. Kevin Durant and the Thunder, beat a 67-win Spurs team, and they had the Warriors on the ropes. They had them on the ropes. They were Ernie Shavers when he had landed that near knockout blow on Larry Holmes. They were holding on for dear life in this series. The Thunder fucked up and started playing ISO, that ISO street ball shit again. They weren't playing like that the first 3 to 4 games of that Western Conference Finals. They weren't. I don't care how many people who subscribe to me who are Warriors fans try to do revisionist history. They were not playing like that the first couple of games. They were playing like how they played against the Spurs. For whatever reason, they reverted back to that style that just doesn't work. Maybe it's Russell Westbrook's fault. Maybe. Okay. All right. Whether we like it or not, Kevin Durant's a member of the Warriors. I got to live with that. I can't keep, rehashing that, oh, he's this, he's a bitch, whatever. That's the decision he made. I will want to make a clarification, though. Charles Barkley's team was favored to beat the Rockets. They were favored. The Rockets were not quite the same team. They had won the title in '94. Olajuwon had missed like 10 games due to injury. Robert Horry had missed some games due to injury. that team was struggling early on. They had an issue with Vernon Maxwell. Vernon Maxwell, was not happy that season. He was getting reduced playing time. The team chemistry wasn't the same. They ended up trading Otis Thorpe for Clyde Drexler, and Vernon Maxwell was getting reduced minutes. He ultimately, in February, he went to the stands and punched a guy. Ultimately, he was kicked off the team. They weren't the same organization, but they did. I'm be honest with you. Once they got rid of Vernon Maxwell, and I hate to say it like this, that's when they became a better team. Because Vernon Maxwell, as valuable as he was in '94, hitting that clutch, crucial shot in Game 7 in the waning minutes, as valuable as he was for the organization then, he was becoming a team cancer. And when he, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was after he missed a shot or something in the Utah series. Wasn't it? Didn't he miss I think he played in the first game of that Utah Jazz series, and he didn't play well. And I think he was removed from the team after that. But once that happened, that team played like a champ. They played like champions, man. They just was a whole different team. But Charles Barkley didn't join them that year. Barkley didn't join them in that year when they blew that 3-1 lead against that Houston Rockets team. He joined them after the next season. The Phoenix Suns were declining as a team. Barkley was diminishing as a player. After 95-96, the Suns finished 41-41. I couldn't even remember whether they made the playoffs. I think they were 8th seed, where they were bounced out the first round. They were like a first round team. The Suns were eliminated in the first round. I can't remember who beat them. I guess it had to be the Sonics. I guess it had to be, because the Sonics were the first round. The Sonics won 64 games. I guess it was the Sonics. Durant and company had made it to the Western Conference Finals. The Houston Rockets got swept by the Sonics. I remember that for a fact. They got swept, I guess, in the semis. The Warriors went to the finals to Game 7. The Rockets were 48-34 that season, I think. They weren't a super team. You see what I'm saying? There are differences. He didn't immediately join that team, and both teams were mediocre by that point. The Rockets were faltering. Olajuwon was starting to slide as a player. Olajuwon was, 33 years old? Drexler was 34. Everybody with the Warriors are in their primes. They're in their mid to late 20s. It's not the same situation. It's not. And also, I like to say this: the Rockets and Barkley weren't in communication, throughout the season apparently, and conspiring to, join ranks. And also, Barkley was still traded. Kevin Durant was a free agent with a lot more power in the situation than Barkley. Barkley was traded. Also, and this is the last I'll say of this situation. Barkley knew that Suns run was over. It was over. He was getting older. He was 33 years old. His body was breaking down. He was having back issues. He knew that his career was going to be coming to an end eventually. Barkley kind of hung on, to be honest with you, the last couple of years in the NBA. He was ring chasing, and I'm pretty sure he'll admit that. He knew that team was going to be broken up. Dan Marley, I think, had already left via free agency to the Cleveland Cavaliers that year, 95-96, if memory serves me correctly. Okay, many other guys were gone. I think that year or the year after that, Oliver Miller had already left the organization. Cedric Ceballos, I don't believe, was on that team anymore. Richard Dumas was having drug issues. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he was on the team anymore. There's a lot of things people are forgetting about what happened and transpired at that particular time. Kevin Johnson already was nearing retirement. I think he played one more year or two and he retired. He had promised he was going to retire after his 30th birthday, if I remember serving correctly. So, and KJ was breaking down due to injuries. It was the best move, but it wasn't like Barkley was joining a super team. And that's the difference, ladies and gentlemen. It sounds on the surface the same, but it's not. Now, about Barkley's stance on the Warriors, I agree with that. Jump shooting teams don't usually win titles. Much was made of when Draymond Green missed Game 5 due to suspension. That was kind of bogus, man. It was. And many people remember that. I'm a type of guy, I try to be objective. And I will call out shit when I think it's bullshit. I had a lot of people unsubscribe from me from the finals, after the finals, because they thought I was LeBron James' hater. I just thought it was bitch ass of LeBron James to bring that to the league's attention and try to force a situation, to make it more likely that they win, in my opinion. I still think that was bitch asses. But I give him his due. He stepped up the last couple of games of the finals. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Joe Bud, you remember that. You one of my subscribers. You remember how I was shitting on LeBron at first. And I think what was bigger in the finals was when Andrew Bogut went down. When the Warriors lost Bogut, that's when I knew this series was going to be forever altered. Bogut is the guy that's going to be missed from this team. Bogut, wasn't the best center in the world, but the things that he did, the little things, are what the Warriors are going to miss. Everybody's falling in love with the jump shot and the scoring, but I keep trying to tell everybody there's two sides of the court. And Bogut's value was tremendous on the defensive side. When Warriors won the defense, guys like Harrison Barnes, Iggy, who's still on the team but is getting older, Festus Ezeli, Bogut, Barboza, these guys are going to be missed. Spites on offense, more so I guess with him, but I figured he was okay defensively, but Spice has got to be missed. I understand people saying that the starter's going to be playing extra minutes, but the thing about it, Durant never came across to me, or has ever come across to me, as a defensive juggernaut. I'm pretty sure he's capable, but what I'm going to notice, I think, with this team is that on the defensive end, they're going to start be giving up a lot more points. I'm just going to make a prediction, right? I think that this Warrior team is going to struggle with athletic slashing perimeter players. I can see guys like James Harden, I can see him having big games against the Warriors. Just because of the fact that before they had a guy like Bogut behind Green, but now they might have JaVale McGee, but JaVale McGee is not Bogut. And a lot of people are like, oh, he's more athletic, but if you understand game basketball, some players have high basketball IQ, and some guys don't. And I think that eventually I'll be proven correct with my belief. And I agree with Charles Barkley on this one.